It is known how Repzilla treats other creators, and as bad as that is, today I want to look into how he treats his fans, particularly on Patreon, and to see if he is scamming them. I was made aware of him potentially not delivering on his perks when I did an interview with a former fan and patron of his, and that interview is currently not up, but it will be soon. Although they made these claims, they didn't have screenshots to show or provide proof of these actions, so I decided to go and look firsthand. So I went and bought a Patreon tier from Repzilla, and that's where this video comes into it. The perks seemingly have been the same the whole way through, as a save on the Wayback Machine from October of 2018 shows the exact same perks for the exact same price. Today we are going to look into the $1 tier and the $10 tier and see if the perks that are offered are actually stuck to and delivered upon. I would also like to clarify that cool Patreon only feed, that's automatic for anyone who buys a Patreon tier. It's not made by Repzilla or any other creator who claims that a perk of yours is a Patreon only feed, because it's done by Patreon themselves. His own Patreon feed implies that in September of last year there were 2 patrons, so I guess we'll give him a pass for that first month, although it seems there was 2, that there was nothing done for them regardless. So with that in mind, we shall say that the Patreon has been around for 8 months instead of 9. It was created around 9 months ago, but we're just going to say 8 for the purpose of this video. Also, that classified only Discord area, yeah, that technically doesn't exist. It's called the Elite Chat, and it isn't just for patrons. It includes channel sponsors, mods, and donators, or Discord donators, I think. Potentially people who donate on Discord to help the server keep running. I don't think it's people who use Super Chat to donate. Yes, it is classified, but it's not Patreon exclusive. That Snapchat adding has a requirement that you add him first, and he'll add back, which implies if someone has Snapchat and becomes a patron, they won't be reached out to and asked a simple, do you have Snapchat? It's part of your tier. It's the patron's responsibility, which I don't agree with given how many people become patrons per week or month now. It's really not that difficult. You'd have to reach out to maybe 2 people a week, if that. It to me just shows a lack of effort. Although I was greeted with a message telling me to add him on Snapchat, so I guess that's something. Now we'll go into the legitimacy of the other rewards, or perks. We'll go in order and start with the monthly coupon codes and discounts. You'd think 8 months would mean 8 discount codes. Not the case. How about 3 in 8 months? Because that's how it is. Maybe quarterly would be more accurate. Here's Patreon's own definition of early access. How many posts in the past 8 months have been early access or tagged as such? 1. And that was merch. The first video linked was in October 2018, but we'll cut some slack and go by the first video that was tagged as a quote-unquote most recent upload. 106 videos have been uploaded since that time, excluding live streams and unlisted/deleted videos, with around 71 of them posted to Patreon, meaning that around 35 haven't been posted to Patreon at all. I also don't believe the new videos are given as early access to patrons either, but in fact work as another form of turning on the notification bell on YouTube. This post speaks volumes about that. Since writing this, a video has been uploaded to YouTube, but 3 hours later, it isn't on Patreon. And in fact, right now is a few days after I've written this, and last time I checked, which was more than a day after it being uploaded, it still wasn't on Patreon. I honestly have no idea what Rep Squad only events are, so we're just gonna skip that. We've been over the 2 remaining $1 perks. The $10 tier adds 3 extra perks. We've spoken about the Snapchat. I don't have Snapchat, so I can't test that, although technically the way it is run, he isn't adding you, he's adding you back. Adding you would imply he gets your Snapchat username and adds you, but that doesn't happen. You add him. Benefit of the doubt is given in that case, although someone did say they were never added, and the contents of it I can't be too sure of, but I'll give the benefit of the doubt to that as well. Monthly Patreon only live streams are a perk. As I said, it's been 8 months. So it should be 8 of those live streams. It's 4. 1 included channel members too, but we'll include that. Also, there were 2 in November, so there's been 3 months where there's been a Patreon exclusive live stream. Well, technically 2 because 1 was channel members as well, but we'll include that for the sake of this. And there's been 1 single Q&A in the 8 months. There isn't a basis for how often these are meant to happen, but once in 8 months just doesn't sound like a good ratio to me, and a live Q&A to me would imply a live stream, but it wasn't. It's just people asking questions via stories, so I don't know. Benefit of the doubt anyway. You do also get behind the scenes things on his Patreon without having to have a Snapchat, and that seems to be the most regular thing apart from his uploads. Also, just a quick showing of the $25 tier. You are meant to get weekly photos of Rep and Greg, and also behind the scenes, and to me, reading it, it implies that you're meant to get both weekly, and not one or the other. The delivery of physical things won't be questioned, by the way, as there is no way to make sure or to check that they were delivered upon, and the benefit of the doubt will be given for them. So there's roughly 37 weeks in 8 months, but we're going to round that down to 35, and so that means that, at least from what I can tell, there should be 35 photos of Rep and Greg for the $25 tier, and there has been 5, which is even less than 1 a month. In conclusion, I honestly think that the list of perks with his workload is unrealistic, but he can change them. If he didn't feel like he could deliver on them, then why put them there? He made the tiers and perks himself, so it is therefore his responsibility, and I would advise you not become a patron of his. I don't have a Patreon, and I don't think I would feel comfortable doing so, as I feel like that would be an extra load of responsibility, and I am lazy when it comes to uploading and holding an upload schedule as it is. I don't think I could be organized enough to deliver upon them myself. But I'm not promising people unrealistic things and charging them money for it, so I don't have that to worry about. Just because you write more perks and entice more people doesn't mean you don't have to give them what they pay for. Rep signed up for this, and honestly, I'd either suggest that he changes the perks to be more realistic, or he just simply stops the service. But it is getting him money, so I can see why he wouldn't. And I'd honestly also suggest refunds to people if possible, probably just certainly at specific tiers. Rep's whole Patreon thing, based off what I've seen, based on first-hand experiences, is a disgrace, and frankly, in my opinion, it is a scam. I hope that this was informative to you if you are either a Patreon or were thinking of being a patron of Repzillas, and I'm sure that he's not the only person who is doing this, but frankly there are different channels with different perks and stuff for tiers, and they're a lot more realistic, and I suggest that you look into what you are getting before you buy it. And yeah, the interview with the former patron of Repzillas will be out soon, and thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, leave a like. If it's even possible to enjoy something like this, and if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe, and I will be making more content shortly. I have some videos lined up that I'm in the process of making or have thought about making, whatever. But yeah, thanks for watching, and happy anniversary. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then I mean, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. And yeah, I'm sure someone could clue you in if you aren't sure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon for more content.